Looks like we've got some big news out of Washington. President Trump looks like he's getting his ducks in a row for a strike on North Korea. I've been following a number of recent developments over the last 24 hours. Trump has been burning up the phones on calls with several world leaders, including China's President Xi Jinping, Japan's Prime Minister Shinzo Abe, and Germany's Chancellor Angela Merkel. Japan's prime minister was asked about the nature of Trump's call to him on Sunday, and Abe said that Trump was talking about what a big problem North Korea is and how it needs to be dealt with, but that Trump didn't disclose his exact intentions. Abe said that Trump, quote, has indicated by his words and actions that all possible options are on the table. China and the United States are giving two different versions of what was said during the call between Trump and Xi Jinping. The White House says that Trump emphasized to China that North Korea is being belligerent and is destabilizing the Korean Peninsula. China is saying that President Xi was emphasizing to Trump that the United States must exercise restraint and not do anything to worsen the situation through unnecessary military action. According to the White House, Trump's call to Merkel on Monday was intended to stress to Germany that the North Korean problem is, quote, an urgent security challenge. And now we've learned that President Trump is summoning all 100 U.S. senators together for a briefing on the alleged North Korean threat. The briefing will be led by Secretary of State Rex Tillerson, Secretary of Defense Mad Dog Jim Mattis, and Director of National Intelligence Dan Coats. Oh, and also Joint Chiefs of Staff Chairman General Joseph Dunford. So this is a huge briefing. This is a military briefing. Folks, it sure looks like President Trump is trying to whip up support for U.S. military action. And North Korea sees all this. Trump is pushing Kim Jong-un's buttons. Here we've got two highly egotistical men with fingers on the nuclear switch trying to one-up each other. I swear, it reminds me of a couple of rednecks who start mouthing off at each other after one too many beers. The official North Korean newspaper, Rodong Sinmun, warned, quote, the United States should not run amok and should consider carefully any catastrophic consequence from its foolish military provocative act. What's only laid for aggressors is dead bodies. Meanwhile, we've got the USS Carl Vinson and its strike group getting ready to enter the Korean Peninsula. Multiple Japanese destroyers are joining up with the U.S. forces to conduct war drills, and South Korea is working on adding their own navy to this fray. I hope that Kim Jong-un has the good sense to see that he is terribly outmatched, and that he decides to not carry out a nuke test, because if he does, there is no way to hold Trump back. It will be an all-out war. And to those of you who like to talk tough about how the USA is just going to wipe out North Korea, just remember, we've got 30,000 U.S. troops sitting there along the 38th parallel in harm's way. Don't be so quick to advocate for war. I hope that all of you will join with me in calling for a peaceful resolution to this conflict. With Trump's first 100 days coming to a close this coming Saturday, the man may just try to pull some military stunt to solidify his legacy. The mainstream media is taking advantage of his ego. We can all see this. They're egging him on. They're talking incessantly about how he's going to go down in the history books as having accomplished less than any other modern president in the first 100 days in office. Whether you support Trump or not, you've got to admit that the man has a narcissistic obsession with his self-image. So we'll see what happens. Subscribe to my channel for ongoing updates. For the End Times News Report, I'm Jake Morphonios.